One more thing, Orby. I did what you asked.
Huh?
Hey there, I'm Elder Tom.
Hi. And I'm Elder Matt.
And we're with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And we're here to share our love for the movie Orgazmo with you.
Could we just come in and maybe ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
Jason, could you tell us about some of the other projects that you worked on with Trey and Matt?
Well, I've worked on a bunch of projects with those guys. We went to film school together, so we started just doing ridiculous shorts in college.
First date? Good. Good.
Then that blossomed into doing the film Cannibal the Musical. Which, again, that just started as a 5-minute trailer. It was sort of a joke.
In the tradition of Friday the 13th, Part 2, and Oklahoma, comes the first intelligent film about cannibalism.
In Boulder, Colorado, we staged fake protests and had like a limo that dropped off all the cast and crew and stuff. And we also wanted to launch the premiere or the preview for the next movie, just to basically fuck with people. You know, we did a lot of movies that never got finished, actually. You know, there were some epics, but some of them got finished, like Man on Mars got finished.
Cole, come on, you guys. I'm not doing the fucking dog dance again. Just fucking let me dog dance. I only have 5% air left, you assholes. So you better do it quick, Murphy. Cut it out. Dog dance. Come on. This might be funny on Earth, but we're on a scientific mission.
That's a fine movie. Beowulf was actually another fake trailer that we did. It was actually going to be Beowulf on Ice. It was going to be an Ice Capades musical version of the Beowulf story, which I think is a huge idea, still waiting to be unborn. Done a couple pilots with those guys. Time Warped.
Time Warped, in color. Starring Chet Martin and featuring the Time Warp players. I'm on welfare. Yeah. Juan Schwartz. Seen here. Tawdry Teal, that's right. And featuring Peony Bunslinger and Ichabod Jones.
There's a lark in the meadow perched upon a willow tree, and the song that he's a-singing sounds like a good idea.
You know, we came to Los Angeles trying to get distribution for Cannibal the Musical, which was really tough until Troma Films stepped up. But this woman, Pam Brady, worked at Fox, and she loved Cannibal the Musical, and she thought we should do a weekly show of Cannibal the Musical. But we weren't really into that because we just done that, and we were sick of, 6 guys stuck in the snow. We wanted to do something a little different. So we thought, hey, what if we took the style and structure from Cannibal the Musical, but applied it to history, hence Time Warp. So we had a little cast that would basically time travel throughout history, covering small stories in history and sort of, giving you an insider's view into what that historical time might have been.
Feel good.
I'm good. I knew someday I'd find you.
Whoa! What you doing?
Singing!
What means singing?
Like this. I knew someday I'd find you. Simple and honest and true. People are stupid and boring, but I could love something like you. Now wrong try.
The show here from Time Warp, it is your favorite show.
Trey kind of came up with the idea for the movie Orgazmo, and I immediately thought it was an awesome idea. The main reason being, and this has been kind of a through line to everything that I've been a part of, that working with Jason and Trey and everything, is that at its core, Orgazmo is a terrible idea for a movie, and that's what I'm attracted to in all movie making and creative ventures.
I think it was mostly just, you know, a fish out of water story, and when I was trying to think of the next thing to do after Cannibal, I wanted to do something about a Mormon acting in porno.
People were telling us we should go and write This is Doubtfire or Lethal Weapon 2, and we were like, fuck that, we're doing Orgazmo next. That was our attitude, is we were coming to town with a musical comedy about a cannibal, and we were gonna leave, you know, doing a kung fu action sex hero movie at the very least.
I don't know. It's like when I talk to them, I think that I'm funny and nice, and they say that. They say, you know, you're funny and nice, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't understand why women don't take me seriously.
Maybe it's because you have a dildo strapped to your head.
Cut. To raise money for Orgazmo, we went out and shot a little trailer for the movie before the movie existed. So we pulled together some porn stars and Dean Bahar and a few other key cast members and went out and shot a real low-budget trailer.
The only thing that I kind of regret, and I actually pushed for a little bit and not too hard, and I understand why Trey didn't want to do it, but early on I pushed for Orgazmo. I pushed gently for Orgazmo to be a musical. And I really don't even like musicals that much. Like, Trey really loves musicals, and thus Packer and the South Park movie and stuff like that.
Yeah, actually, Orgazmo I wanted to do it as a musical. It was right after we were done with Cannibal. We were kind of like, let's do another musical. And Orgazmo was written as a musical, and we tried to take it around town, and it was just already such a bizarre idea that basically everyone was just like, nope, you know. And as soon as we said, okay, it won't be a musical, then we were able to find, you know, the very small amount of money we had to find to make it.
Well, I am very partial to musicals. My partner recently discovered that I was gay because I loved Moulin Rouge. But, you know, I would love to see Orgazmo musical.
I especially like the singing, the rapping part, you know, the sushi chef, the hip hop rap, like, you know, my homie got the bitches and G, fuck the chill, got my Jimmy and the dance and the rhyme feeling ill.
Orgazmo should have been a musical, because then it would have even been a worse idea. And that's what would have been fully great about it. And actually, as I say, that Orgazmo not being a musical is probably a big reason why South Park, the movie, became a musical, because I think, in a weird way, although I'm very proud of the movie, I'm sure Trey's really proud of the movie, you know, it is what it is, it's totally funny. If it was a musical, it would have just been a little bit worse of an idea and therefore a better movie.
Porno research, you know, at first was really enticing. It was like, okay, we're going to go to these sets and everything. But we always ended up having to, you know, hold lights or booms and stuff like that. And really those sets are really exciting for about 3 minutes. And then they're just really kind of uncomfortable and not cool.
My whole actual first introduction to LA, in fact. I had just come out here from Colorado, and that was like the first thing I was exposed to. Never really hung out in LA. And all of a sudden I'm watching Ron Jeremy fuck somebody. It was a little strange.
I think for like a bunch of dudes from Colorado to come out to LA and not immerse ourselves, but get like very like into and meet a lot of people in the LA and the Valley porn industry, that pretty much scarred us for life. I mean, I know my sexuality has changed for the worse since that experience. I kind of wish I hadn't gone through that. I think I'd probably be a little better off.
We all did, while we were doing Orgazmo and preparing before Orgazmo was purchased yet, and we were doing the trailer for it, we did some sort of spoof porn type stuff together, and they did a little bit of cameos in my porn stuff.
Imagine waking up to find that this day is the first day of the rest of your life. Because today, you are an adult film star.
Oh, we did a thing called Here Comes Elska, and then another thing called Sex for Life 2.
And special guests, El Nino and Shiny Jim. From the director of Here Comes Elska and Dreamhouse comes a story so strong, so provocative, you won't fucking believe it.
8 feet, solid mark.
And action!
Cut! Rocket!
Well, Orgazmo really was a really fun shoot. And it had the same kind of feel as Cannibal did, which was sort of a bunch of friends getting together making a movie, much more like, you know, just sort of the old Little Rascals, like, come on gang, we're going to put on a show. And I think that, you know, it was sort of the last experience of that I got to have before I got fucked in the ass by Hollywood.
Working with Trey and Matt was so much fun because they were just like everyday kind of guys that had a crew full of friends, you know, and so you could tell that it was just all friends hanging out, and so everybody would just add to the story if somebody had an idea. They were easy to talk to, fun to work with, and so it was a blast.
They're young, good guys. They're crazy and wild, have a good sense of humor, so of course they're good guys. I didn't have a lot of dealings with Matt, you know, a very nice guy. And Trey was really funny because I kept making suggestions. And he kept saying to me, Ronnie, you just don't get it. Like, you know, when they said, I saw the first screening when the house burns up, and they kept on the house too long, so it's a model. When they cracked my face open, and they put in a pottery noise, you could see that it's not really me. They could have fixed that. I goes, but you're letting the audience know that these are special effects. Ronnie, you just don't get it, you know? When the girl's about to take her boobs out, some guy's ass gets in the way. But don't you want to see the girl's boob? Ronnie, just don't. So when I saw the whole movie completed at the screening, it was all put together, you know, looking at this thing, I'm totally catching on the whole routine about me dying, coming back later on, which they do with South Park, with Kenny, right? I died in the film and I came back at the end saying, I'm learning something new about myself. You know, so, you know, like I got my face patched back up. So you know, I sat there in the screening and watching it, you know, I looked at him and he goes, I finally get it, you know? So Trey's a good guy.
Oh, it's amazing. I saw him, you know, directing, you know, acting, and doing all different kind of things. And I think he's this genius, genius. And I've never seen the guy like that on this planet. He's amazing, awesome.
What do I think of Trey Parker as a director? Well, he's got a great cartoon show.
Trey is like the boy next door with a twist, with like a serious twist. Because there's so much that he can do. He writes, he directs, he has a band, he acts, he speaks fluent Japanese, he plays classical piano. There's nothing that he can't do. And actually it's funny because when I read the script, I didn't know Trey and I didn't really know anything about him, and I was like, oh my God, this is a very strange story.
First time you read the script, you certainly are fearful of what might come of it, but gotta hand it to Trey. He put it in motion and made a lot of people pissed off and made a lot of people laugh, and I guess that's the goal.
You know, on hand her, Jizz Master Zero. Like that bad. Yeah, like Chuck Norris bad.
I mean, just Trey and Matt always creating, and Matt like walking around twirling his little curls in his hair, you know, thinking and, you know, getting the wheels turning and figuring out who they were going to involve in what. That's something I found very fascinating, is that they involved the whole entire crew. Everybody on some level was involved in and seen in the movie, and I thought that was pretty cool. Just, I mean, I'm from Colorado and they're from Colorado and they're just like good down-home boys.
Well, I would say that the set of Orgazmo was a very, again, I was only on Orgazmo set for a brief period, and it was the first day of shooting. But the set was definitely warm and loving and organized, and people believed in what they were doing, and that's the most important thing. I don't know that everybody who worked on Titanic believed in what he, she, or it was doing. There's no question, everybody on Orgazmo believed in that project. And with all due respect to Troma, nobody works on a Troma movie unless they truly believe in it, because that's what it's all about, is making the movie. And I don't know about Orgazmo, but on Troma, people literally don't get paid. We have no food. We eat cheese sandwiches 3 times a day. We have to defecate in a paper bag.
So that was fun. It was always fun working for them. It wasn't like they never paid you or anything like that, but it was fun.
Basically, I was there as an actor for a while, and then that part went away because my character ran away and went back to Salt Lake City. And so I stayed on as the craft service guy, which very few people know, and I got fired, which was actually okay.
Why did you get fired?
I was drunk.
Like, Trey came over, and we're in our crash pad in the valley, all like the out-of-town idiots were staying in a crash pad, and it was from hell. That's another story. But Trey says, the day before we shoot, he goes, okay, and you're going to be naked in this scene. I was like, yeah, that's fucking funny. And then he's like, no, seriously, dude, you're going to be naked. And I was like, dude, that's so not fucking cool. Every time we shoot something, the day before you tell me, and you have to shave your head. Oh, and shave your balls too. Like, that's Trey. So in Orgazmo, he's like, the last thing he said to me before we started shooting was, oh, and you're going to be naked. And I was like, that's really nice. And he's like, but you get to wear a sock.
I remember the fight sequences being extremely laborious, you know what I mean? That have like, not so much to do with comedy, although there's a lot of jokes in the thing, and just the joke of the Kung Fu with the Mormon and the meta joke, but the actual like doing of it was really laborious. I remember that, like, I just had no fun doing. Not no fun, but that's not really my deal, you know?
You know, all the farting, like the hand farting stuff between David Dunn and Trey, it was just ridiculous.
Oh, that came directly from my teacher, John Jock Machado. He's a ground fighter, but in some self-defense situations, standing up where he has less ability to maneuver and manipulate, he likes to grasp, his ass and throw a little something at you. Oh, it's a great defense. It worked. Trey was very, very Orgazmo. Scared to death of the old fart move.
Oh. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, even a trained professional, at times when you throw farts, you break character and you can't quite stay with it.
Only. Jesus, man. Fuck, brother. Dear brother. Open up that door. It's oh my god.
You need to take a break.
Show us your best orgasm face.
My best orgasm face?
Well, the weirdest thing is just being around Diem Bahar. I mean, with all the stuff that's gone on, I've been through some weird shit, but nothing tops just hanging out with Diem. That guy's fucked up.
Matt, if you could have one sexual superpower, what would it be?
One sexual superpower?
Oh, a sexual superpower that I don't already have.
Talking penis.
It would be the ability to please, instead of the ability to please many women, which is the ability I have now. I think a great power would be the ability to please one woman, but very, very well. Can't seem to do that.
Torpedo cum. Mr. Torpedo cum.
The ability to make someone go away when it was over.
If I had any sexual superpower, it would be the ability to kiss my own schmeckle where the sun don't shine.
I'd like to have like my orgasm, my semen, put a girl to sleep.
A singing vagina.
I think read people's minds, then they would know you'd know exactly what they wanted, harder, faster, slower, and so then it wouldn't take so long, right?
I have one sexual superpower, masturbation, and I'm very, very good at it.
What exactly made you want to be in the film Orgazmo?
Well, seriously, to meet porno chicks. I mean, pools, California. I just moved from Colorado. Don't shake your head at me. Porno chicks abound is what I was hoping. I remember the last night of filming, we had Christy Lake, and she had just come off of a set. She was late because she was just doing steamy, hot sex action, and I think I met her when she got out of the car, and that was the reason why I wanted to be in Orgazmo. Meeting porno chicks who'd just come off a porn movie set.
I jerked off in the trailer like 10 times. I still kind of jerk off to that scene with Julie Ashton.
Give it to me, you big star! I think working on Orgazmo was similar to working on on a porn set just by the absurdity of it all. I mean, you're like, the reality, it's surreal. Both times it was just so surreal.
I don't think it was really, I mean, you know what? It was very accurate and just like taken to the extreme and taken to different levels on the completely comedic side. I mean, you look at things and you're like, oh yeah, that's happened. Oh yeah, but I mean, they just took it and just like went with it, just that extra edge. And it was, but very similar. Very similar. I heard that they did a lot of research, so.
It was a lot lighter than a real porn set because we never had to wait for wood, which can be a real pain on a real set. So they never dealt with that drama.
Matt, did you ever have a boner during the shooting of the film?
No. And the reason I didn't get a boner during my screen time is, one, there was very little get a boner about on that movie. It wasn't as, well, it doesn't really look erotic. I was gonna say it's not really as erotic as it looks, but it doesn't even look erotic. You have a bunch of kind of like fat, naked, hairy guys, and you have some porn chicks that's just like, all right, if you like porn chicks. And I was wearing these way too tight pants, so any kind of circulation at all was just kind of cut off anyway. But, I'm 30 now, and pretty good at controlling my boners. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really get those boners anymore in front of the class.
The interesting thing was that everyone was just like, how was it working with porn stars, and how is it, like, they're really more decent people than most people in the movie industry, regular movie industry.
I don't think I know any porn stars in my life, so I didn't really know what to expect, and they're all just really nice, extremely normal people. I don't know what I expected, but they're just like really nice, sweet people, just like your neighbors.
I think for us, I mean, seriously, I think one of the weirdest things was being around people in the porn industry. That we knew a couple of them, but we went out actively and searched for people in the porn industry because the movie's about that, and those people are really weird.
The weirdest thing about shooting Orgazmo was Ron Jeremy.
Jizzmaster Zero!
No, help!
I'm Jizzmaster Zero! But the strangest actual thing that happened was Ron Jeremy ripping my face off. It's like one day Ron Jeremy's just a guy, I jerk off watching his movies or something, and then the next day he's ripping my face off. So I thought that was kind of strange. And then he's on top of Julie Ashton. That was pretty cool.
You jerk off to Ron Jeremy?
I remember he asked me a question, and I answered, and before I got back to him with my 3-word answer.
It's true that Ron Jeremy is a narcoleptic. That was really strange. I've never seen that before in real life, where he would just be like you're talking to him within 2 or 3 seconds. And there's tons of work going around, and work going on right around him.
He's such a fucking piece of work. But he'd fall asleep on set, and he'd have his boxers on, and he would just fall asleep, and he'd be snoring, like in the middle of a take. he'd be snoring, and his dick was just hanging out.
I'm sure there was a lot of crew members that had good Polaroids with them, you know, just like with Ron Jeremy passed out and snoring and stuff. I mean, that was pretty damn funny.
And everyone would kind of walk by and they'd be like, "Oh, there it is. It's pretty good, you know." He's getting older, so probably lost a couple inches.
My dad said that actually happens. That actually your penis gets smaller as you get older. Plus, I got a bigger stomach. When I was thinner and in Playgo magazine, my penis looked huge. You know, but now as I get older, you know, and I get chunkier, when your stomach gets bigger, the penis looks smaller because there's more space there taking it up. See, here's a penis, here's your stomach. Now your penis looks smaller, 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 you see? Because the stomach's hanging over it. So if you suck it in, your penis looks bigger, you see?
I don't want to get on anyone's bad side, but because Ron Jeremy's a great guy, he's hilarious, he's funny. He was just a little intimidating, if you know what I mean.
He is.
Because what?
Does he have aliases or nicknames?
No, not that I know of. I sure could probably come up with a couple. Big guy. I'm gonna get sued.
What wasn't funny was his cologne, which was really not funny.
That cheap ass cologne your grandmother gives you from Kmart, the one that was soap on a rope and then the cologne.
He's such a fucking smelly bastard. But that's a totally other story. But the movies he's in, you know, the beautiful girls that he has sex with, you know, it doesn't seem fair. Being that smelly and ugly and having sex with all those beautiful women.
He's pretty well endowed, though, isn't he?
He's all right, yeah.
Hey, man, you need to shave your balls? What? Why would I do that?
All male actors shave their balls, Joe. Makes the old Johnson look bigger.
Shaving your penis makes your penis look bigger, yes. Shaving your balls, not much. You shave the top part where the head of the penis is, yes. I have a mustache right now. Makes my nose look smaller. If I shaved the mustache, the nose would look bigger because it's more additional space, you see. So if you cut back the hairs of your penis all the way up a little bit past the mound on top, so you can have a little bit of hair there, but shave it all the way up the shaft, nothing on the shaft, and a little bit on the top part of the balls. Yes, the penis will look bigger, yes.
I think in the porn world that shaving your Johnson does, or shaving, is that what you said? Shaving your Johnson makes your balls look bigger?
It's apparently a porno trick. It's apparently why they do it in pornos. But I haven't tried it, so I can't say.
I started doing it years ago. Guys made fun of me. Now they're all doing it.
Producing Orgazmo wasn't all fun and games, I'll tell you that. There was a lot of hard work, and you know, it wasn't an easy sell all the time, which, you know, I thought it might be, but it was especially a tough sell to Dean, you know, who the main part of Chota Boy was written for. In fact, before he was Ben Chaplesky, he was named Dean Chaplesky, and we had to change that. Just because Trey, you know, he had this vision about seeing Dean with a big dildo on his head.
I think Dean's an amazing actor. I really do. And it's just that he's an amazing actor with this side that's very much a turd. And so, you know, it just sort of, I see him and I see a dildo on his head. The first time I met him, I saw a dildo on his head. It wasn't there, but I saw it.
So it was left to me to convince Dean that he had to play the magical part that Trey had written for him that would launch his career with a dick on his head.
I don't seem to take me very seriously.
You don't say. And so that took hundreds of hours of phone work on our long distance bills because he was still in Colorado at the time. So to get him out was tough. You know, I had to be really on call and by my phone 24 hours a day because Dean would call me at any time, basically, you know, having second thoughts, third thoughts. And so I just had to keep him pumped up and, you know, tell him that, you know, it was such a juicy role and it was written for him. And, you know, there was the whole hamster style thing that he was going to get to dig into and really, you know, show his acting chops. So that was really, it was difficult, but also it was equally that rewarding when we did get Dean in the part of Chota Boy with that huge cock on his head.
Why did he put a cock on my head? Because he's an asshole. Because he likes to see me pissed off, and he's just always kind of gotten a sick thrill from fucking with people, I guess. Filming my ass? That's right, kids.
blanket party, okay? So, you
Guys, come quick. Grandpa's really sick.
Matt, so if Dean was to play Batman, who do you think his Robin would be?
If Dean was Batman? If Dean was Batman, then Michael Keaton would probably have to be Robin. Because George Clooney wouldn't be right. What was the other guy that did it?
Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer would... You know what? Dean and Val Kilmer would actually be just perfect. Dean has a total Val Kilmer quality, so I think... Yeah, Val Kilmer as Dean as Robin.
Ron Jeremy, definitely. Can you picture that? Ron Jeremy and David Carr? I love it.
Robin, did Dean's... Well, you know, I would always have seen Dean as being Robin.
If Dean was Batman, then I don't know, Gary Coleman would be a good Robin.
A turd? I don't know. A half a turd? Bird turd? Ant turd? It'd be a casting call.
It's funny, whatever. It thrills Trey, so that's what's important. Keep the director happy. What's a Chota boy? Well, as I understand it, I think that it was something that Matt used to play with as a young boy, and I think Trey used to play with also as a young boy.
Well, a Chota boy is just a fucking dickhead.
Chota boy is kind of a derivative of cocksucker.
I think that I was told that it means Spanish for cock. That's for you, Trey. Cock.
The guy with all the supplies and all the tools.
Chota boy's a soft penis, so that's, you know, Dean's sort of a soft penis.
Chota boy is actually a technical term used in the American Southwest. A Chota boy being the... its root is actually Chota.
The only thing I know about Chota boy is because of his things on top of his head.
Chota boy. It's kind of a pally kind of way of saying, hey, cocksucker.
Chota boy is, Chota boy, that's kind of a personal thing. You know, I'm kind of the elder statesman of independent cinema, and I hate to get into these personal matters. I thought this was going to be an interview that is about the business and the industry and the art form, but Chota boy is a young boy, and yes, I do like young boys. I'm very sorry, you know. So if I do.
Well, it's when Dean, dons the character Chota boy and he puts the dildo on his head, he's just got a certain power to him that's undeniable. You know, when you take that off, there's something missing.
The worst part about the NC-17 was purely that we couldn't argue. They have this thing called arbitration where you can go in and say and argue why this shouldn't be an NC-17, and it was a joke. I had 3 minutes maybe to stand up in front of 20 people whose average age was 65 and try to say, well, see, the cock's on his head, and basically I purposely made this film with no nudity, like thinking like that was clever and thinking like, that's sort of the whole point.
What made Orgazmo so special, of course, is that there wasn't any nudity. In fact, I even criticized that in the beginning, saying, shouldn't we have more nudity? And Trey just said, you just don't get it, Ron.
I mean, the thing I think people miss about Orgazmo and the disgrace that it doesn't have an R rating. I mean, it's an absolute obscenity that the sick people who run our system of ratings and censorship and whatever would give that movie an unrated or an NC-17 or whatever the hell they gave it.
And it was just like, okay, thanks, no, it's NC-17. And then later when I did the South Park movie, which was a big budget Paramount movie, the whole arbitration thing was different. It was like, okay, well, let's sit and talk, and how about if you make this cut and that cut? Okay, well, let's bargain, let's make, because we know it needs to be an R. And I was like, where was this process when I was an independent filmmaker, when I didn't have a studio behind me? I just got told what it was. And suddenly when you have a studio behind you, MPAA works with the studios. They're run by the studios, and so it's a joke. It's a total sham, and it sucks.
It's ridiculous. It's a love story. It's a sweet movie, and I just don't get it.
In the deep inside, it have a strong message of love and justice and sharing and having fun. So it's a kind of human dilemma of being spiritual and being funny. But this movie, can blend in so well, and laughing. But at the end, you feel so something in your heart that touched, and that's why I love this movie. I watched it again and again, not because I was on the movie, but just because I loved it. Yeah.
I enjoy the hell out of it. I like watching it as an audience, and I also like being in it. So I think it's a great genre, and it hasn't been explored enough. And people like Trey Parker and Orgazmo will explore it some more, with hopefully Orgazmo Part 2.
What I want to do is, I want to be able to recut the film and do the special effects the way I really meant them to be, and then re-release it again with the omitted Jabba the Hutt scene that was cut out, and really make Jabba look the way I wanted him to look, before, it's just I didn't have the right things back then, and I want to go in and use a computer to sort of take out some of the guns in people's hands, and and sort of use a computer to do things like that and make it the film I really wanted to make it originally.
Urine.
What?
Urine. Poop.
Really? What? Huh? What did you say? Yeah.
Urine.
Mm-hmm. You just want me to say something about that? Just urine? You trying to do a stare down?
Stan? Urine?
I'm in what?
Urine?
I'm in... That's a question? I am in. I'm big. In Japan, I'm big here. I'm big in,
Urine?
Urine. Thirsty,
Urine?
On you.
Urine? It can be healthy to drink. You know that the Prime Minister of India used to drink it, but I don't know what to say about urine.
North Dakota. I got fan mail from North Dakota. South Dakota really, I guess I'm not in South Dakota. And,
Urine.
Uh-huh. Did you just say urine?
Urine?
Yeah. Urine. Dean Bahar.